Going to be the same format, and so Cresta will begin with your 2-minute opening, please.
Hi, thank you all for coming out on our first significant snowfall of the season. I don't know that I was quite prepared, but it's good moisture, so that's exciting. My name is Cresta Brinkman, and I'm running for the 2-year term for school board. I am a parent in our community. I have 4 children.
Can you speak louder, please?
Absolutely, I'm very sorry. Can you hear me better now? My name is Cresta Brinkman. I'm running for the 2-year term for school board. I have a background in education as a special education teacher. I've worked with students for over 20 years in various capacities. I've worked with students who have special needs. I've also worked with students who are gifted and talented. Currently, I work for Colorado Hands and Voices, and it is an organization that provides support and advocacy to families who have children who are deaf and hard of hearing. My son has a hearing loss, which is what led me to that path. I have 4 children. They're in the elementary school, they're in the middle school, and they're in the high school. I volunteer extenuously within our schools, within our district, and also within our community, and I serve on various boards within our community that help to serve our students and our population.
Thank you. Andrew.
I'm Andy Heppelman. I've got 2 kids in the school system right now. I'm not an educator by trade. I spent 34 years in the military, focused on mission performance, metrics, in a resource-constrained environment. I see the district's mission as a contract between the district and a voter. I see the metrics as our report card back to the voters telling you how well we're doing with that contract. When you think about it, the district's mission boils down to 2 tasks that we simply cannot fail. First, we have to teach our children. Second, we have to keep them safe. Teaching the kids means focusing on individual academic excellence. Keeping them safe means taking every step possible to do away with all forms of bullying. Right now, we have some schools in the district that don't have a mission statement. This only moderately concerns me because they are being run by strong leadership with great instincts. More concerning to me is the lack of performance metrics, the accountability that goes along with them. The district has 8 objectives in their strategic plan, listed to be measurable, observable, and demonstratable, yet none have ever been measured. The district is failing at big picture assessments. I went to Aspen's website to see how others are doing it. Their assessments page is capturing all standardized tests, teachers' pay, teacher performance metrics, and progress in their IB program spanning across years and compared to other Colorado schools as a whole and Aspen's previous performance. Without a clear focus on what's important, it's easy to get distracted and focus time and money on items that aren't value investments. This is a resource-constrained environment and money matters. It's time for the district to get back to the fundamentals and decide with the voters how we're going to measure the district's focus and performance. This will yield district students graduating as fearless and inspired leaders, physical, mental, and emotionally prepared for the next step in their journey.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to go back and forth. So we'll start with Andy. And so this, you both will have the opportunity to answer the same question. So Andy, what do you believe to be the 3 most important priorities for the school district to ensure a high-quality education for all students?
Number 1 is paying our teachers. They are absolutely critical to achieving the mission. The teacher is 5 times more important than any other individual in the school system when it comes to learning. Number 2 is the assessments piece, understanding how we're performing, where we're not meeting our needs, and where we are meeting our needs. And number 3 is some incremental growth in district space. There's a lot of initiative out there, and there's times when we just don't have the space to institute some really cool projects that the school is doing. Thank you.
Cresta, same question to you.
When I asked people to sign my petition to be nominated to be on the ballot to run for school board, I asked every person who signed my petition and people who asked to sign it, but I already had enough signatures, what matters most to you? And I kept a tally and I kept track of all of the different things that people had shared with me. There were 3 main things that came up from the community at large. The first one is teachers and classified salary. And so as a teacher, I can tell you that it is really difficult to earn a livable wage. I had a master's degree plus, and I can tell you that I had to live with 4 people to be able to have a livable wage, be able to afford to live, and also, in addition to that, put away for savings. The second thing is class size. With 4 children in the district and the amount of volunteering I've done over the last 10 years, I've been able to see the direct impact that we've had with our student population growing over the last 10 years. I see how it impacts both our traditional students and also our non-traditional students who have unique learning needs outside of a traditional student's role. And also, I see the facilities as something that has been mentioned before for how it directly impacts both the quality of our student instruction and the educator's ability to impact the classroom.
Thank you. Okay, the next question, Krista, I'll let you start, and you've sort of answered it a little bit, but do you support the 4A, 4B, and 4C ballot measures? Why or why not?
This is a great question. I did anticipate it, and yes, I absolutely do support 4A, 4B, and 4C. Most importantly, because I was somebody who did not vote in favor of the first bond that came around. This time I've seen the amount of friends, family, and community members and the extensive amounts of time and input that they have contributed from a well-rounded composition within our community to be able to give their input and feedback about what we need. Again, I've seen it in our classrooms, I've seen it as I volunteered in our classrooms, I've seen it as I volunteered in our school, and I know it from an educator's perspective. I can also tell you that I was fortunate enough to do a tour of the facilities of comparable districts. I went to a kindergarten through 8, pre-K through 8 program. I was not a fan. I really did go into it not feeling like that was something I would support. I was in awe of the flow, the structure, the continuity, what it provided for families, what it provided for students, and I feel like it would be a tremendous asset to our students and to our families to have the option for these unique learning opportunities that's a best fit for their children and their students in our community.
Thank you. Andy, the same question. Do you support 4A, B, and C? Why or why not?
So I struggle with 4A, and the reason I struggle with it is we're giving roughly a 6% raise across the board to every member of the administration. We just hired a superstar principal for Strawberry Park Elementary this summer, and now we're turning around and we're going to offer her a $7,000 raise. And we just hired her 3 months ago. And that $7,000 really needs to go to our teachers who are making $38,000, $39,000. You know, it is true that teachers in this district who are making under $50,000 are struggling. And that's not the kind of teachers that we need in the school. They are the most important people that we need to invest in. I think my time is up.
Okay, thank you. Andy, the next question will start with you. And this question is directly from one of our sponsors. The Steamboat Springs Economic Development Council's policy platform calls for the development of a capable, well-qualified workforce. If you are elected, how will you support initiatives that provide and expand workforce competencies, including career and technical training, certificates, mentorships, and career credentials?
Well, that's a good question that I hadn't thought of. Cresta's going to take some time and take some notes.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I smiled and I was like, oh, thank goodness.
No, I absolutely feel like it's important. I think we should probably invest in, like I mentioned, some of the incredible projects they're doing. There's one in the high school right now where they've got teachers engineering and building a cement canoe, which is something that's typically done more at the college level, but it's exposing kids to both the construction trades and engineering and kind of teaching them different things that they might be interested in once they walk out the door. Additionally, I think I would support, a lot of the trades. Quite frankly, you can make a great living here in Steamboat, as an apprentice electrician or an apprentice carpenter. And if you don't get exposed to those and kind of, my time's up. Thank you.
Thank you. Kresta?
Okay, so I am very passionate about junior achievement. When I was an educator, my husband and I both participated in junior achievement in the Front Range. We brought at Junior Achievement up here to Steamboat Springs and Routt County because we are very passionate about economic literacy at a very early age. We feel that it's imperative for students to be able to understand what it looks like to have economic literacy from as soon as kindergarten. I volunteer in first grade. I just am in the middle of teaching a second grade class right now, and it has opportunities all the way through high school. So Junior Achievement is a great opportunity for this. To what Andy said, I'm so excited to see the opportunities for career tech now in our high schools, to see how this is continuing to grow and be supported. Not everybody has the same educational and career path, and so it's wonderful that we have the opportunity as a district to realize we need to provide these opportunities for our students for whatever meets their needs for their educational and their career future. Also, I really am very grateful about pairing programs with CMC and dual enrollment programs where students have the opportunity to take courses at our high school but also get credit from CMC.
Thank you. Last question. Krista, we'll start with you. In what specific ways do you see yourself impacting the school district as a school board member?
As a school board member, I see myself as somebody who is a very invested member in our community. I am very passionate about being involved in our community, both in nonprofits as well as in our educational system. I feel that what I bring to this role as the board member for our Steamboat Springs School District, having had a background in education and also having the personal experience for working with children who have special needs, whether it is gifted and talented, whether if it is special education because of unique learning needs outside of a traditional role, whether it is students who have a 504, which is also a document that helps provide opportunities for students to have modification or accommodations within their academic day, in addition to my passion for everything that I want to do to be able to impact change for our students and for our staff, for our schools, for our community, and for the families. I feel like we'll have a tremendous impact as a role on the Board of Education to not only have that professional background, but to also have the personal background, not just as a parent, but somebody who also volunteers in our schools at all 3 levels.
Thank you. Andy, same question for you.
Boy, I wish I could talk half as fast as she.
Slow down, sorry.
What I would bring to the board, first off, is a deliberate decision-making process. I feel like a lot of the disagreements over things like schools are, we don't start out with facts and assumptions. And so everybody gets their own facts and assumptions, and we never escape from that whirling pool of, well, but this I think is a fact, and this is, and it just goes back and forth. If you start with facts and assumptions, then you can actually get someplace because, the facts are what they are, and the assumptions we've debated and agreed upon. And then, then you go through the decision making, and it drives you to great decisions that you can defend with logic and with facts and assumptions. And that's just not where we seem to end up sometimes. I would bring metrics. We need to know how we're doing as a school. And right now, we don't really have anything on this website, so it's really tough to tell what our scorecard ought to be. Thank you.
Okay, and now we're down to the 1-minute closing, and since Krista started, Andy, we'll let you go ahead and provide your 1-minute closing.
Thank you. I think that there's a lot that can be done to take every one of our district students to the next level. This district has a rare combination of parents who truly care, engaged students, and outstanding teachers and administrators. We as parents deserve a clear agreement on what the district's mission is and how we will measure success. When spending taxpayer money, the district needs to be deliberate in our decision-making methodology and overt in our process. This means being able to list our priorities and clearly explain their level of importance and the facts and assumptions that we use to arrive at those conclusions. What I bring to the table is years of experience with methodology, missions, metrics, and assessments. Whether you vote for me or not, please spend some time thinking about the points I've made this evening and consider holding this district to a higher standard. Thank you.
Thank you. Krista.
Thank you so much for hosting this forum. I am very grateful to have the opportunity to sit before you and be able to share why I feel like I would be an absolute asset to have on our school board. I can tell you that earning a top 10 academic ranking among our state's 179 school districts is not a small feat. that comes from diligence and striving towards excellence. So as a school board member, it's imperative to me to understand, why do we get that ranking? What is successful? What is the best practice? And how is this impacting our students in beneficial ways? In addition to that, I want to be able to look at comparable districts and understand different things that they're doing that might be more successful than what we're doing, or might work better for some of the things that we are finding maybe aren't the best fit, or are, but we want to tweak it in a little bit more of a unique way, because we are not a cookie cutter community. We are a unique community. We are Routt County. We are passionate about our students. We are passionate about our schools, and we really stand together as a community to come together for all the amazing things we have. Thank you very much. I appreciate your vote.
Thank you both very much.